in the Thundercats. It all began with an exodus as Thundera, their homeworld, was destroyed. Now the mutants of Plundar crave the Eye of Thundera, their greatest treasure, and if they couldn't have it, no one could, as they destroyed the entire planet. Only one ship survived, as the Thundercats were put in stasis by their leader Jaga and piloted to a new world. Now, Jaga guided them, but unfortunately, he seemingly did not survive, as the only Thundercats to touch down on the planet are Tigra, Panthro, Cheetara, Lion-O, and Wily Cat. The stasis chambers were supposed to provide protection, but due to a malfunction, Lionel's stasis chamber did not protect him from the passage of space-time, and thus, when Lionel emerged, he emerged as an adult. Lionel knows none of this was supposed to happen, and Jaga should still be alive, but unfortunately, destiny has forced his hand, and now he sees himself as the leader of the Thundercats. For the sake of the continued survival of the Thundercats, Lion-O knows he must get stronger and master his new abilities. Lion-O spends much time in the crashed remains of the Thunderian flagship training room as Panthro is training him in order to become a better fighter and a better overall leader. But as Lion-O's combat prowess improves day by day, he feels as though he's outgrown the training room and he tells Panthro as much. But Panthro trips Lion-O, forcing him to fall on his ass. Now Lion-O asks why, as Panthro has always been his trusted mentor, and Panthro tells him on Thundera that was true, but here on the third Earth, he's his general. But elsewhere on the planet, Tigra surveys the wildlife as he's cataloging the indigenous species. Tigra activates his cloaking and attempts to get close to capture the creature as he's very hungry, but it's no use as Chitara zips right by him. Chitara tells him that those attributes are no substitute for speed, but Tigra tells her that speed is no substitute for his starvation. Cheetara offers to catch the creature for Tigra, but Wily Kit and Wily Cat are already on top of the creature. But the two younglings fail to catch the creature because as they're pursuing the creature, they bump into each other and then just start fighting. Back on the ship, Lionel feels that training with Styx is no longer sufficient, and if he is to master the Sword of Omens, he must wield it. But Panthro does not think he's ready to wield the sword yet. Now, after a bit of back and forth, Lionel is pretty much like, fuck that, and he takes the sword anyway, ready or not. Lionel makes his way up a hill, thinking about how Panthro underestimates him, but he's worthy of the sword as Jaga entrusted the sword to him. But as Lionel sees a mutant ship flying above him, closing in, Lionel, Lord of the Thundercats, knows exactly how to respond. Lionel pulls out the Sword of Omens and starts chanting thunder as the sword starts to extend and is imbued with power. As the mutant ship closes in on Lionel, Lionel raises his sword to the sky and he yells, Thundercats, ho! Now the mutants recognize that sword, and so do the Thundercats as they hear the call of Lionel. But elsewhere in the desert of the sinking sands, someone else is awoken by the sword's power as they can feel it from many miles away. But as we catch back up with Lion-O, he's confronted by an old adversary named Sleeth. Now, Sleeth doesn't think it's Lion-O at first, but upon closer inspection, he realizes that Lion-O has gotten a bit older. Now, Sleeth and Lion-O cross blades as Sleeth tells him he's here to kill him and all that he loves with his bare hands. Now, as the two continue to cross blades, Lion-O tells him that will never happen, and then on top of that, he's not here alone. And right on cue, Lion-O is reinforced by the Thundercats who heard his call and have come to aid him in battle. The Thundercats strike hard and fast as Panthro, Tigra, and Cheetara tear apart the ground units on the ground, and Wily Kit and Wily Cat drop explosive projectiles from hoverboards. Panthro tells the kids to cut off access to the ship, while he tells Tigra to cover them, and he tells Cheetara to cover the flank, while he goes at it, ripping apart the ground units. But as Sleeve continues to cross blades with Lion-O, Lionel tells him that his confidence has waned and there's no threat that the Thundercats cannot defeat. But Sleeth tells Lionel to tell that to his homeworld, which is now destroyed. Now, Sleeth tells his man to retreat to the ship, but it's no use, as Wily Kit and Wily Cat have already destroyed the ship with explosive projectiles. But as Lionel gets thrown back, Tiger yells defense, and Lionel turns to meet Sleeth with his blade. But Sleeth tells Lionel he's already lost, he just doesn't realize it yet. Sleeth chops right through the blade of omens and shatters it, stunning everybody on the battlefield. Lionel would fall to his knees while yelling, "It's gone." But elsewhere, Mamra can feel the eye of Thundera as such power is unmistakable. Mamra knows it's been taken away, and he wants to know what's been done with it as he asks Jaga, the leader of the Thundercats that's supposed to be dead, to be continued.